Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the West Coast Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Frias Guzman. And on today's episode, I am going to be talking about all three teams. We'll be talking about the Dodgers, we'll be talking about the Lakers, and the Raiders, of course. As all three teams, honestly, now have a whole lot of traction, whole lot of news coming up. Lakers, as everybody probably knows, it was media day yesterday. Got a chance. Well, I didn't get a chance, but I did get a chance to go in and see a bunch of other reporters who had the opportunity to go ahead and interview players, coaches, Rob Pelinka from being the president of basketball operations. And, a lot of great things are going to come out from that. A lot of great things are going to hear from some of the players. I'll kind of just talk to you guys about kind of like the overall vibe that I even got. And even like my whole thing, like I even almost forgot that it was media day yesterday or the day before yesterday. And then we were able to go ahead and get all these interviews and everything, but I really wanted to some time to digest everything, really understand exactly what some of these interviews were what the people were talking about. And just kind of talk to you a little bit about, how I'm overall feeling about this year, especially after media day. So then we'll also transition on over to talking about the Dodgers, of course, as the Dodgers are done with the regular season. Now at this point, they are just waiting to go ahead and see who ends up winning from the wild card series. So we're definitely going to see. Honestly, it is looking like we're just going to be waiting to go ahead and see who finishes first between that game or whoever the Braves get. I'm really thinking it's going to be a Braves versus Dodgers NLCS, and just kind of, and I don't know, there's a lot of good teams as well on the NL and AL side, so we'll definitely have to see what happens when it comes down to that. But I'll really just kind of talk to you guys a little bit more about how I'm thinking that this team can catch a lot of teams by surprise, strictly or mainly just because we have a lot of players, a lot of young pitchers, players that a lot of teams don't have a lot of information on. And it'll be very difficult for them to be coming up with like strategies or be coming up with game plans on how to be able to go ahead and approach some of these players or these pitchers. So we'll talk all about that in another segment. And then possibly to wrap it off, we'll talk about the Raiders. I might even start off with that just so then we can kind of get all the bad out of the way, if you would. We'll talk about the 24-17 loss, unfortunately, talk about that. We'll talk about what I ended up seeing, some of the good things, some of the bad, so on and so forth. But we'll just kind of talk about what I'm kind of thinking, especially since we ended up getting a rookie quarterback out there in Aidan O'Connell. We'll talk about maybe if the rookie's going to get another shot and see exactly what that might look like. So it is episode 154, if I'm not mistaken. Recording this on an early Tuesday morning. Just wanted to go and get this podcast up. It has been quite some time since I had a podcast that I ended up recording, so I definitely wanted to go and send this one out to you guys and see what I can, just kind of get everything rolling. There was a lot of things going on. For those of you guys that are friends, family members, you guys probably already know that I ended up having my mom's birthday. We ended up trying to celebrate that, and it was very successful, I would say. Had a lot of family, had a lot of friends that came on by. It was very great, very good to go in and see everybody there. Just overall, just a great time. But with that being said, though, guys, I did just want to go ahead and get right into the podcast. Let's go in and just start talking about the Raiders. I really just want to go in and get that over with. So, what can I say? In all honesty, when it comes down to the Raiders, that's 24-17 loss. There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that the team needs to kind of clean up, a lot of things that they need to go ahead and just focus on. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen, what's going to transition with them. It's you had a rookie quarterback out there and everything, but in all honesty, some of the bonehead mistakes that were done there, that were done in that game, don't fall on the quarterback. A lot of these things are just lack of focus, or just your head's not in the game, whatever the case is. It's definitely one of the things that you want to go ahead and just focus on. And to me, in my opinion, when you have a lack of focus, when you have a team that's not aware of what's going on, or at least not disciplined enough to go ahead and not make any kind of bonehead mistakes like that, it really falls on the coaching, in my opinion. But we'll definitely have to go in and see. I mean, because I don't know, if you guys are not disciplined, My opinion is always a team or a squad or whatever the case is highly reflective of its leader. And to me, in order to become a good leader, you need to be able to accept that your team may not be doing well at the time for whatever reason, and that does need to fall on you. But when the team is doing good, it's all on them. It's kind of one of those things. You want to stay humble, but it's also a good way to be able to build some camaraderie, to build up that trust that you have with the team, because you don't want it to be where if the team is struggling, the coach is like, well, it ain't me doing nothing, it's all them, I'm putting everything I can out there. No, you don't really want that. But again, when it comes down to it though, I'm really just kind of wondering what's going to happen. If you guys haven't seen it, it's been going all around Twitter, all around social media. People at the Chargers game were screaming, yelling at Mark Davis. They're going to tell him, to fire McDaniels, so on and so forth. And I could definitely understand the frustration, guys. I was never the biggest fan of McDaniels, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people kind of understood right away, is that with this guy being a Patriots guy, a former Patriots guy, we were not going to give him that long of a leash. This dude was going to be on a very short lease. It was going to be a thing where if this guy doesn't have one good season, it's done with. Now that he's going on to season 2 and he's still messing up, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm thinking that I don't think it's going to happen this year, solely just because they have a lot of money invested in the guy. They have a lot of things invested in the guy. And what are you going to do? Start from fresh all over again? Don't get me wrong, I really want to go and win Raider Nation, and I'm a lifer. I've been a Raider fan all my life. I don't know any other team, basically, And to me, I just don't want to start from fresh again. If we are going to get somebody in here, get a coach that can actually work with the team that we got, which I honestly think that it is very, very possible. You have all these very great offensive weapons. You have a defense who's maybe not the best, but they're not the worst either. I just really think you need to go in and be able to put them in the right kind of positions in order to succeed. But in all honesty, I guess we'll definitely have to see what happens as the season progresses. The one thing I really just wanted to go into focus on this one as well was Aidan O'Connell. I am hoping that the guy gets another shot, strictly just because he didn't play bad. He had a decent game. I know, of course, being a rookie quarterback, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to go ahead and have some mess ups here and there. And it's really just about getting the timing right, making sure that you understand that, there's certain reads, certain things that you need to do. And just because the play calls for this type of a play, or for this guy to get the ball, doesn't mean it always has to be that way. So hopefully, he hopefully gets all that stuff out of the way. Hopefully he works on being able to protect the ball when he's getting hit, and so on and so forth, and even when he's throwing the ball. But even before that, all the drive right before that, and even the drive before that, he was looking decent. He was looking good. And being able to go in and come back and only losing by a touchdown to the Chargers that have a very high octane offense. And maybe it was the fact that we were able that Justin Herbert got hurt, that maybe that's what ended up kind of helping us out. But whatever the case is, I'll take it. At this point, hopefully we can build off of this and we can turn things around. My whole thing is, if you are going to be able to go ahead and if you are going to go in and get the rookie out there, you might as well keep on rolling him out. I hope that he earns at least another start. Even if Jimmy G is healthy, I would rather see what we got in this rookie rather than continue to roll out Jimmy G. But maybe that's me. Maybe that's just me going a little bit too quick and just not having any kind of belief in Jimmy G. But whatever the case is, I guess we'll have to go in and see what happens. And I'm excited to go in and see how this team is going to be able to progress, especially now that it looks like Josh Jacobs kind of got his legs under him. He's looking a little bit better, but we'll have to go in and see how he looks and how the rest of the team looks this week coming up. We'll definitely talk about that more as the week progresses, as it is only Tuesday. So we'll definitely talk about that maybe more tomorrow or by like Thursday, if anything. So with that, though, guys, I did just want to go ahead and just transition on over to the Lakers, as the Lakers had their media day yesterday. Ended up having, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, all the players available for interviews, for press conferences, to go and talk about all kinds of things when it comes down to the games coming up, or when it comes down to the regular season coming up, when it comes down to, you know, expectations for the team, whatever the case is. They answered all kinds of questions. And I'll tell you guys right now, honestly, this was probably one of the more, how could I say, it was more calm. There wasn't a whole lot of, you know, wonder and a whole lot of, you know, cringy kind of questions, you know, people that didn't really want to answer or ask certain questions or something like that because of some of the rumors and stuff like that were going on. But when you see exactly how things kind of went with with Media Day, you can kind of understand that, you know, overall they didn't even really have you know, a whole lot of issues like that, just because, you know, a lot of teams, the only questions that I think teams had were how was the roster going to be constructed, you know, who's going to be starting, stuff like that. You know, your typical type of questions that you want to have for Media Day, for the beginning of the season, stuff, so on and so forth. You know, so it was definitely interesting to go in and see how all that took place, you know, how it kind of felt for everybody, I guess, so to say. Because even like a lot of reporters kind of mentioned as well that, you know, things were more calm, you know, more, I don't even know how to explain it, you know, just the vibe was totally different rather than being really stuffy. And I guess they even, you know, I guess just because the whole buzz wasn't around them, and especially because of the two big trades that had happened right before, you know, Dame being sent over to the Bucks, and then Jrue Holiday being sent over to the Celtics, you know, so having those big trades, of course, had a lot of buzz going around those two teams, you know, but at the same time, with the Lakers, it was actually kind of the exact opposite. Last season or the season before that, when you had the whole Russ trade and everything, and you had the whole situation of last season as to how is Darvin Ham going to go on and construct this team, being that he has Russ on there, and so on and so forth. You know, so you have now a season where there's not any kind of big time question marks like that. The only real big thing is, how is the team going to be constructed? Who's going to be playing? And all honesty, I didn't expect anything different from Darvin Ham, from saying, hey, we're going to see how training camp goes. We're going to see maybe even how the first couple games go. And there's always kinds of changes that can be done. And as we all know, I mean, every single season, especially in the LeBron era, you know, the Lakers have had kind of different styles, different looks, teams, and everything, you know, so we'll have to definitely see what it looks like, you know, once the team gets rolling and everything. But this is actually one of the first years, and a lot of the players even talked about it, that we're having a lot of camaraderie, a lot of returning players, even from the championship year where they had like that camaraderie, but somehow that team got together out of nowhere. You know, that chemistry happened out of nowhere for them. But it was definitely great to go in, you know, definitely a great experience to go and see that. I think it's going to be a little bit more of that we're going to see this year. A lot of them being more, you know, just comfortable with each other, being able to go and know exactly how to go ahead and play alongside one another. So this training camp, this beginning of the season is definitely going to be crucial for the Lakers. Preseason's right around the corner. Can't wait to go and see it. Can't wait to go and see what some of these players, because I'm really thinking that they're going to play some of the younger guys and see exactly who's going to be able to get some of the starting minutes. So really can't wait to go and see all that. Really can't wait to go and see for this season to get started. Some of the things that I did want to just throw out there really quick, basically the things that Anthony Davis ended up saying, you know, just kind of taking charge, so to say, of the team, you know, making it known that he's going to be the big dog, you know, that he's going to be a focal point, but also as well that he doesn't need to go in and score 30 points in order to make an effect on the game, or in order to make an impact on the game, that he can score 15 points, have 15 rebounds and 5 blocks, you know, and that'd be an incredible game just on its own, and he has an impact on the game just alone off of that, you know. So it is just different things that we ended up hearing from some of the players, but some of the things that we expected. And seeing Anthony Davis, it looks like he is primed and ready for an MVP season. I'm waiting. I just can't wait to go in and see what this team really looks like. And now that Anthony Davis has some help, and he's not going to have to go in and just be focused. I mean, I would be surprised if maybe not an MVP season, but maybe for sure a Defensive Player of the Year award. But we'll see. Once the season gets going and everything, guys, or as more things go on, I'll definitely have more information and more talks about the Lakers as the season progresses. But now, just waiting for preseason to get started here. So just with that, I do want to transition and just kind of finish off here with the Dodgers, as my beloved Dodgers are. If you guys, I don't even think I mentioned this in the beginning. I do want to just let you guys know, with the Dodgers having 100 wins this season, they are now one of the only teams in MLB history to have 100 wins in 4 consecutive seasons. Isn't that something, guys? If you guys haven't known, that's definitely huge. It's definitely great to go ahead and, it's just, I don't even know how to say it, because there's been so many years where the Dodgers were not even looked at as a dangerous team, and it's been like the past decade. It feels like it's been maybe 8 years where the Dodgers every single year are known as a dangerous team, known as a team that could possibly win it all the way. That every single season we have a stacked roster, and this season is no different. There's a lot of buzz going around, especially with the type of offense that we have. Having Mookie, having Freddie, being able to go in and bat this well, having multiple guys with 20-30 home runs, absolutely amazing. Having all these guys that can play defense, all these guys that can go ahead and just are just overall a really, really great team. If they have even like a group of young guys, especially pitchers that are not well-known commodities, so to say, or that are not, I don't even know how to explain it. Of course, they're not veterans. There's not a whole lot of film. There's not a whole lot of studying people have done on these guys or anything. But it is interesting to go in and see, and just the I don't even know how to explain it. Just the wonder that a lot of these teams have on some of these players. I mean, you have Bobby Miller. Besides Kersh and Bobby Miller, there's really no other players or no other solidified starts. But I mean, you can put any one of these other younger guys that have been pitching all season long, and it'll be interesting to go in and see, because there's not a whole lot of film. A lot of teams are not going to know exactly how to approach every single at bat. It's pretty much just going to be, they're going to be learning as they go. They're going to be relying on maybe some of the previous at bats, or maybe going back to some of their previous games to go in and see exactly what they could do. But honestly, I can't wait to go in and see, because there's a lot of wonder. I think it's going to be an exciting postseason. I really just can't wait to go in and see it, with having all these players that are just playing out of their mind. Even Kike said it today, that they get a chance to go and rest for a little bit, get everything prepared for the postseason, and get ready to go in and just hit the ground running once it starts for them. Being able to go and have this little bit of time off, and being able to have a good enough record where you can take some time off and actually go in and see who your opponent's going to be and prepare for them. That is definitely important. I really think that this team is not only just very talented, but they're very smart. They want to make sure that they do their research, that they do their homework on whoever they're facing, so that way they can make sure that they set themselves up for the best or for the better opportunity to win. So with that being all said, guys, I really can't wait for this postseason to get started. Once it gets more cracking, or once everything gets more, just closer and more solidified. If any of you guys are Dodger fans and you guys have some Dodger tickets, please let me know. No, I'm just kidding, but I am trying to get out there for this playoffs. Hopefully I can make it, but we'll definitely go in and see what happens. Again, just want to say thank you for every single one of you who are listening, who have been listening. Can't hope that you guys continue to listen, and make sure you let your friends, family members, coworkers, anybody that you know about this show. I would definitely appreciate it. But until then, guys, until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, have a great Tuesday, great week. Talk to you guys later. Peace.